Hello and welcome to Polyplane.com. In this pre-flight video, we're going to be talking about the basic navigation within the interface of Rhino. When you first install Rhinoceros, it'll look something like this. You'll have 4 viewports, top, front, right, and a perspective window. You'll have a main navigation bar up at the top, and a couple of toolbars. Also, in current versions of Rhino, when you download it, there will also be a welcome note on the right side, and you can just close that out. The cool thing I like about Rhino is its interface is extremely adjustable, so you can grab all of these docks and pull them out however you need to. And whenever I do a fresh install of Rhino, I always like to open up the layer palette and the object properties and just kind of scoot those off to the side and slide them over so that I have lots of screen space, but I can still see my layers. When you pull these toolbars off to the side, you'll see lots of various tools that you can use. The main tools that you'll be using are like the polyline, curve, box, and boolean. There's join and split and trim. All these tools are very useful for different operations depending on what you're wanting to do. In this video, I just want to give you a general overview of what the interface looks like. Up top, you'll notice there's a command line. This shows you everything that you've done so far and also allows you to explore what sort of possible operations are available. So if I just hit the letter A drop-down list will come out and show me every command that starts with A. This is how I learned Rhino. I just explored the command line and found the things that I wanted. If I wanted to make a cube, I would just type cube. I didn't know what that meant, so I'd try box. And sure enough, I found my box. So it's asking me for the first corner of the base, and I just was like, okay, well, I want it about here, here, and about that tall. And I was able to make a box, and it was thrilling. And it was through a series of these sort of explorations that I really taught myself how to use the software. Going into the layers palette for a moment, you will use this probably every day that you're in Rhino. It's just like a Photoshop layer, only in 3D space. If I make a cube and I click on it, I can see down here in my object properties what layer it's on, what its display color is and line type and all this, but really just want to focus on layer for a moment. If I click on layer, I can actually assign it to its layer, and now you can see that it's red, so it must be on layer 1. And if we go down to the layer name, you can see it's on layer 1. You can lock layers, so now I can't select this at all. You can hide layers, you can turn them on and off. One thing that's different about the layer palette that you wouldn't find in Photoshop is that you can actually manipulate a layer even though it's not your active layer. See this little check mark where next to the default layer? That means that default's the active layer. So whenever I create something, this is now still on the default layer. If I want to work solely on layer 1, I actually have to check mark that box just by clicking on it. And now when I create a line, you can see it's now on layer 1. Alternately, you can change the line type of your layer. Say I have a line here and it's on layer 1. If I go across to layer 1, I can actually make that a dashed line. And now when I zoom in, you can see that's dashed. This is really convenient for when you're trying to really discern different types of layers. Maybe you're creating some sort of futuristic car or prop or some product. Being able to change the line type like this, not only its color, but its line type, really helps you understand and assign different types of visual definitions to your layers so that you can easily navigate your document. Those are really high level touches of what the layer palette can do for you. Now talking about the properties window down here, if I select an object, I get a full report of that object's basic properties, including what layer it is, what the display color looks like, its line type, print color, print width. And if I click on object up at the top, I can go into its material options, its texture mapping, and there's a bunch of other plugins that you can download from McNeil's website or rhino3d.com. As far as plugins and add-ons to Rhinoceros, Rhinoceros really has great support. Its developers are very passionate, and it's got a lot of community support by private developers that create plugins that do all sorts of amazing tools to help you really visualize and get the most out of your design. This video series is going to be more focused on the why more than the how. I'm going to teach you the basics and intermediate steps to constructing a model. There's lots of websites out there for advanced modeling, how to model a shoe, how to model a car, how to model a character. And you can go to those sites and learn great tutorials. I really want you to understand the principles of computer modeling so that you can really understand what it is you're trying to do in 3D space, so that you can create new problem-solving techniques to help yourself out in the future when you're trying to model that next great character or that next great prop or consumer medical device or whatever it is that you happen to be modeling. So that's a general overview of the interface of Rhinoceros. One other quick tip in the Rhinoceros workspace is that these viewports can all be maximized if you double click on their name. This is handy if you need to see a detail that you wouldn't be able to see in its regular view. Also, you can move these around to make one bigger, others smaller, and there's a button up here in the top navigation bar which gives you even more options of various ways to display your document. I like the default of just the 4 views, and when I need to work in perspective I can just double click on that. Rhino also comes with a great support menu that allows you to see help topics, frequently asked questions, how to learn Rhino. There's all sorts of tutorials here, places on the web that you can get extra help, command lists, all sorts of stuff that really helps you learn from the ground up. Thanks for watching and have a great day.